Hi there, it's Liz Yule from Old Stables Crafts again. Sorry I've not been around for a while. As some of you know, I managed to pick up a chest infection, which is never a good idea. And it's the wrong time of year, really. So anyway, I seem to be pretty much fully recovered now, so that's all good stuff. And I'm slowly getting back on to schedule. Big news is that those of you that are in my VIP group, I have got your catalogues all packed up and ready to go. They will be going to the post office this afternoon, along with some little goodies because you're my VIPs. Anyone else who wants a catalogue and is in the UK, it doesn't have a demonstrator at the moment, and is considering shopping with me, if you go to the associated blog post, which is linked below, you will find a form to request a catalogue. I would ask you to be honourable about this. I do have to pay for catalogues, and I'm happy to send them for free to people who do have an intention to shop with me. If you just want a free catalogue but don't intend to shop with me, then I would ask you to just do the honest thing and not request a catalogue. Anyway, that's that. Today's project is a birthday card, and it's a pop-up birthday card. I thought that would be some fun. This is actually on the retirement list. It is called, the stamp set is Balloon Adventures. The blue dot means it's retiring. And the framelets, that's not them. The framelets are the balloon pop-ups. Actually, they're thinlets, not framelets. Also retiring, as is the paper, the embellishments and the ribbon. But, and here's the big but, they are still available. I've checked this morning, and today is Tuesday, and it's Tuesday the 16th of May. So I have just checked, and it is still all available, and even better, it's all discounted. So the stamps would be £24, are actually £19.20. The dies would be 30, but are actually £21. Be careful, the bundle, which is still available, is still full price for some inexplicable reason. So this is one occasion where I would say, don't buy the bundle, buy the two things separately. The designer series paper is the party animal paper, and it's reduced from £10 to £7. The embellishments, which are the cutest thing on the planet, they are little party hats and balloons. I don't have many left, and this is not my first pack. So these are reduced from £6.25 to £4.38, and the ribbon, which is this lovely emerald envy and white thin taffeta ribbon, is reduced from £5.50 to only £7.25. It's fantastic. Now, my maths is not always brilliant, but I make it that the total for those things is £54.33, which I know is still, not an insubstantial amount of money, but the bundle is £48.50. So for about £5 more, you can get the whole lot. So yay, let's all jump on board with that one. So let's have a look at how to make this. This is a kind of, I don't know, is it a female version? Possibly. I was thinking of female when I was making it, although, it's kind of either, really. But the version I'm going to make now, that was with Tangerine Tango as the card base. So the version I have prepared to make with you now is on Emerald Envy. So this is a standard A4 piece of cardstock cut in half, scored down the middle, of Emerald Envy. Then a piece of Whisper White, and this is A4 cut in half and then just trimmed so it's a 1/4 of an inch smaller in each. In fact, it's less than a 1/4 of an inch. It's 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. And then the die for this is just, pardon the pun, to die for. So this is the die, and you just you find the middle and, a pencil mark. And I would actually draw a faint pencil line down the middle, and then you run that through your big shot, and it's all done for you. As simple as that. So there's that. Then Designer Series paper. As I say, this is from the Party Animals suite. This piece, which will go in under here, we'll do that in a minute, is 4 inches by 5.5. And then either side of the pop-up, what will be the pop-up, I've got this cute little animal the literal party animal paper, and that's cut again at 5.5, but at 2 1/8. So that will give you just a narrow border round the edge. So you'll end up with that layered border. So that's those for the inside. Then for the outside, I have got the same piece of candle paper. The back of it is the blue with the square, with the crosses. So this is 3.5 by 4. So it's not quite square. To be honest, it was a scrap that I had and I just cut it in half. And why not? And then this number paper is cut at 5.25 by 2, and again it was a scrap that I just cut in half and then made into a 2-inch strip, so that's going to go behind there. I have pre-die cut 2 balloons, and these come in the same pack. This is the full pack. So you've got various bows which you can layer up. A little bow here which you can put on the pop-up, but I'm not, and then these 2 balloons and this little tab at the top. So I've cut 1 balloon in Emerald Envy and 1 in Crushed Curry, so those have already gone through, and I've also cut this piece of Crushed Curry for a mat for the stamping, which I will come back to, but I have pre-cut that. So you do need a scrap of your coloured cardstock and also a scrap of Whisper White. So that's that. Right, let's get started. I'm going to start by sticking this down. In fact, I'm going to start by doing quite a lot of... Actually, I'll start just by sticking this down, purely because I need it to be dry by the time I come to put the card together. I am going to use glue. Because it's going to fold, I need this to be properly stuck, not just stuck at the sides. And I also need some glue to come out. There we go. Oops, that's rather a lot of glue. Just because I need it to be stuck doesn't mean I need more glue. This really is a less is more glue, and if you put too much on, it really doesn't help. All it will do is buckle your paper, which is not really something we want to do. And as this is paper, not card, then and now I have actually cheated. I've marked here where I need the corners. That's going to be covered up. So yeah. So this is the balloon paper. Do be careful that you get it the right way up. I mean, it looks, you kind of, I don't know. First time I saw it, I did kind of get a bit confused and ended up with it not necessarily the right way up. So that I'm going to put to one side so that that's suitably dry by the time I need to fold it. And I'm going to bring in my, piercing mat because I need to do some stamping here. So if you look here, we've got 1 solid balloon, then the 2 balloons that have got the die cuts over the top. What I've actually done is stamp those as full balloons and then just cover them up. So you do have in your stamp set a choice of balloons. If I get the cover, that's probably the easiest way to look at it. So you've got solid and then 2 patterned balloons. I'm only using the solid balloon, and you've got this, which is huge. These are only shown at 75%. So here's to another full year full of adventures. No one deserves a happier birthday than you. Open me already. It's your birthday, and then various little bits to go in. You've got balloon strings and sprinkles and all sorts of good stuff. So a block would be a good idea, really, wouldn't it? What I really need is a B block because I happen to know that it fits. So, 1 B block. Now, again, I want the Pacific Point, and we're only using 3 colours, Pacific Point, Emerald Envy and Crushed Curry, because they are in the paper, and I know they're in the paper because the paper pack tells me they are. So, I'm actually going to do this on the side, purely because, in fact, I'll probably do it half upside down. Can you see that? Yes, more or less. So, it's actually quite useful to have the piercing mat behind for 2 reasons. A, with the darker colour, it does actually mean that you can see better. Famous last words are now not stamped straight, but there we go. That's right. And then over to the side here, I've got my scrub, my ever faithful scrub, because obviously I'm going to need to do these bit at a time. So Emerald Envy. I probably need to re-ink my Emerald Envy ink pad, but hey ho, there comes a point at which one has to do that, and that's why the re-inkers are so good. Rather than having to buy a whole new pad, all I need to do is get the re-inker. Right, so one Emerald Envy, clean again. Put that to one side, and crushed curry. And this is a nice well inked pad, so this is very nice and juicy. And there we go. So that's our 3 balloons. So I don't need that anymore. Now, what I am going to do next is the stamping in the middle. Actually, I think I might keep that out, because we've then got, we can stamp the banner surround, and this will fit nicely on a D block. Even better if I put it on so that it's relaxed. With photopolymer it often is better, particularly if it's long, to actually put the stamp down and then pick it up with the block. That way you know that you haven't got the stamp pulled or twisted in any way. So I'm just going to, this is where you need to be able to get over your stamp, which or your card, which of course I can't because you're in the way. So here's goes. Yay! So even though you were in the way, that's good. So I don't need that. And then we'll go for Party On again. Yes, we would if it would dare to come up from the stamps. I'll actually take the balloon off. So I cleaned my desk up this morning and it already looks like a bomb site. Actually, I might put that on slightly diagonally. That's better. Right, so I am going to use, let's see, what colour shall I use? I'm actually going to use Tangerine Tango. Having said I'm only going to use 3, because the background that I've used is Tangerine Tango, I want to just pull that in. So, and again, this is where really it would be easier to be able to go over the top of where you're stamping. But you're in my way, so I can't. There we are. So that's that. So actually, I don't think I need that block anymore, so that's good. Right, so now we can attach our balloons, and I'm going to do them opposite colour on opposite colour. Don't need the piercing mat anymore, so on the premise that I'm almost bound to end up getting glue everywhere, let's get rid of that. It's a convenient little ribbon shelf up there that it sits nicely on. That is filthy. So let's find something to, that'll do, clean it on, bit of tissue paper. Had some dried up glue. I think it's probably time I got a new glue out, certainly for videoing. It's all right having a not particularly full glue when you're in the privacy of your craft room, but when you're filming, it's quite useful if your glue actually works. So let's just pop that over there, and because it's a wet glue I've got a bit of wiggle room, and then so it's a funny old day here in Oxfordshire. It doesn't really know whether it wants to be warm and sunny or windy and miserable. It seems to be erring on the side of windy and miserable, but it's hot and muggy and really quite odd. But there we go. That's May in the UK for you. You can just pop that down. So that's that. Right, pop that away for the moment, and we will attach with some snail. I will attach these panels. And because it's going to be all folded up, I am going to use a reasonable amount of snail, just so that I know everything stays in place. And the other piece. So, are we all getting excited about the new catalogue? I hope you're making the most of the retirement list whilst it's there. There really are, as I've just explained with this suite, some of the savings that are available are just phenomenal. So if there's anything that you have been hankering to get, now may be the moment to do it, because if once it's gone, it is, as they say, gone. Right, so I am going to just remind those bits that they are going to want to fold. They are scored anyway, so I'm just going to, it would be useful of course if you score them both in the same, or fold them both in the same direction. And then with, again, wet glue, because this is going to need to be in the right place, I'm going to use wet glue. You could, if you're brave, use fast fuse. I really wouldn't use snail for this, because it does need to be in the right place. So yeah, this I think is a moment for a very good adhesive, and snail is good at paper to card and paper to paper, but not so brilliant at card to card, particularly when you're going to pop things up. So because this is wet, as I say, I can move it about a bit. Right, so I'm just going to make sure that that doesn't ooze out the sides, and then I'm going to be very brave and do the scary bit, which I might wait until that's dry. Let's wait until that's dry and then I know it's going to fold. Okay, so let's not do that bit yet because it will be scary. So let's do the next bit of stamping. And of course I do need my piercing mat again. So the Whisper White cardstock, and this is No One Deserves a Happier Birthday Than You. Now we're using the candles, which have got all the colours that are in the paper and the numbers. And I think just to make it slightly different, on this one I actually did blue and blue. We're using crushed curry for the mat, but I'm actually, as we've used Tangerine Tango, I'm going to use Tangerine Tango. Oh, and I've just spotted something I didn't do, so I can do that in a minute. So let's get this properly inked up and just make sure that that is not very well done. There's something about me today and doing this one. Let's see if I can be ever so clever and line that corner up. Yay! The joy of photopolymer. It does work. You can see through. So there we are, that's that. Right, now, stitched shaped framelets, which I really cannot say. This is square, and it's, as you know, it comes with circles and ovals. This is the second from largest, and it fits just nicely round our sentiment. Remembering that it stitches right on the edge and it cuts slightly in. So long as I've got everything within that square, it's all good to go. So I'm just going to go and die cut that. This is where we have empty space, which is so embarrassing. We don't like empty space. What do they call it? Empty air, I think they call it on the radio. So there we go. Right. No One Deserves a Happier Birthday Than You, and I'll pop that on there. And again, I'll use the glue because it's out. because it's a square, it actually doesn't matter which way I put this on. There you are, and it's got a nice little border around it. Now, another thing to think about, if you do go a bit oops with your stamping, if you've got the Stampin' Right markers, remember that the ink is the same, so you can fill in the odd little bit. So that's always worth bearing in mind. Now, the thing that I suddenly realised I had forgotten to do, and this is where it's all going to go horribly wrong, is to put the bow at the bottom, which kind of just makes that all pop a bit more. Otherwise it kind of goes into the background and you don't really realise what that is. So, and again, this is where, in the privacy of your own home, you can get over the top properly. There we are, one bow, and that just, I think that just finishes it off nicely. So, now that that's had a chance to dry, shall we be brave? Let's get rid of our stitched shape framelit. And be brave, be very brave, be very, 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 very brave. Bone folder would be a classically good idea. There we are. I only have 6 bone folders. You'd think I'd be able to find one when I need it, wouldn't you? And there we go. Yay, it worked. Isn't that brilliant? So, I love it when Stampin' Up make things easy for you. I am just going to go inside and just very gently reinforce that crease, and you'll notice that this string just pops to the side. So that's all good. Now we're nearly there. So let us bring in the snail again and just pop this on the front of our card. And it really doesn't matter which way up this goes because it doesn't have a right and a wrong way up. And then, oop, our candles. And our sentiment, which, if I can find my dimensionals, so I say, I tidied my desk up this morning and you really would wonder, wouldn't you? So a dimensional in each corner. Oop. And then I want that just at the top edge. And then I'm just going to tie my bow, and I do a double bunny bow, double bunny ears, so I just do 2 loops, and this is a bit of a cheat, and then just effectively do a half knot, but it's quite a nice cheat's way of doing a bow. In our family it's called an Auntie Betty bow because my Aunt Betty used to do bows like that, so it's an Auntie Betty bow. And then just pull that tight. And just snip the ends so they're pretty, and then with some mini glue dots, oops, apparently I'm having another balloon. Oh, I could have a party hat, I suppose. No, I think I like the balloon. So let's grab a mini glue dot for the balloon and then pop that. Just the little loop is showing, but that's because if I get my piercing tool, I'm going to just pick up a glue dot and pop that over the top. So there we go. 2 pop-up birthday cards. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Do pop over to my online store. There's a link below, and I will list the items on the associated blog post. Having said that, the way that I link, it may bring up the wrong prices, but I will list the prices on the blog post so that you know the reduced prices. If you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Remember, if you want to order from me and you don't have a catalogue and you're not currently a member of my VIP group, and if you are, you will know that, then do fill in the request form on my blog. What more can I tell you? That's about it, really. Anyway, I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks a lot.